You think women keep their desires hidden? Not exactly. Spend enough time around one who hasn't been intimate in a while, and you'll notice the difference. Her eyes linger longer than normal. Her jokes carry innuendo. Her touch seems to stay just a little too long. And here's the real catch. If you fail to notice, she'll quietly mark you as clueless. But if you overreact, you'll look like a predator. Either way, you lose. The real risk isn't missing one clue. It's losing your frame by not knowing how to read the game. So stay with me, because I'm about to uncover 7 signals that a woman hasn't been with a man for a long time, and how you can recognize them without ever crossing the line. Before we dive in, I want you to do something simple. Hit subscribe, drop a like on this video, and answer a quick yes or no question in the comments. Have you ever thought a woman was signaling you, but you weren't completely sure? Writing it down breaks the ice, and you'll notice you're not the only man who's been caught in that same confusion. Now stick with me, because the signs I'm about to show you will clear that uncertainty for good. Number 1. The body never lies. Words may try to hide it, but when it comes to desire, the body often betrays what the mouth won't admit. A woman carries tension, a kind of energy, and it seeps out in small, unconscious movements. You won't see a neon sign on her forehead. You'll see it in how she leans into your space, in how her gaze holds yours a second too long, or in the way her fingers play with her hair or neck. But let's be clear, these aren't just signs of being alone. At their core, they're signs of attraction and growing comfort with you. When intimacy has been absent, that energy just becomes stronger, because it needs somewhere to go. That's why context is everything. One gesture means little. The power lies in noticing a cluster of signals that appear together. But don't treat this like detective work. If you're obsessively counting how many times she touches her hair, you'll kill the vibe and miss the connection. The goal isn't to tally signals. It's to sense the overall shift in her energy while staying present. And here's reality. No man plays this perfectly. If you care, you'll sometimes overthink or get nervous. That's human. The goal isn't perfection. It's awareness. And that puts you miles ahead of most men. So how do you handle it? Keep your frame steady. Shoulders back, posture open. When you're grounded, you can read her signals instead of projecting your own neediness. Don't rush to touch her back just because she leaned forward once. Don't confuse friendliness with attraction. Test gently. Step back half a pace. If she unconsciously closes the gap, her body wants closeness. If not, you saved yourself embarrassment. A woman's energy slips out in unconscious cues. Your role isn't to pounce, but to observe, notice the pattern, and respond wisely. And often, when her body gives signals, her mouth follows, with humor. Which brings us to the second sign. Number 2, playful provocation. When a woman feels connection, her words shift. Suddenly, her humor comes loaded with meaning, just enough to make you think twice. The point isn't for you to simply laugh and move on. The point is to see how you respond. Humor becomes her safe testing ground. Think about it. Humor is the safest weapon she has. If you don't react, she can shrug it off as just a joke. But if you engage, she knows she's got your attention. That's why it isn't harmless, it's strategic. Take James, a 46-year-old sales manager. For years, he chatted casually with his single neighbor in her 40s. Then one day, she smirked and said, "It's been forever since I've had something exciting in my evenings." He laughed it off. But later, it happened again. "I should really get a hobby, or maybe some company at night." She joked, her eyes locked on him. He realized these weren't random jokes. They were invitations, behind the mask of laughter. Most men mess this up. They either jump straight into sleazy banter, killing all respect, or they freeze and act like they didn't hear. Both ruin it. The right move? Walk the razor's edge. Stay playful but grounded. A line like, "Careful, that almost sounded like an invitation," shows you're not oblivious but also not desperate. Don't turn it vulgar, and don't ignore it. Both show weakness. Test lightly. If you change the subject but she pulls it back to the same playful innuendo, that's confirmation. She's trying to escalate. Her humor isn't random, it's her way of asking, "Do you see me?" Handle it with calm authority, and she'll feel both noticed and safe. And once laughter is charged, touch often follows. That leads us to the third sign. Number 3, small touches, big messages. You've felt it before. A brush of her hand on your arm. A hug that lingers a second longer. Easy to dismiss as friendly, but when comfort builds, the body starts seeking closeness in whispers. And those whispers are touch. Touch is the most primal language we have. For a woman who feels connection, those little brushes aren't habits. They're her body remembering intimacy. Caroline, a 42-year-old single mom, told her story. She met a man regularly at a cafe. Slowly, she began touching his forearm when she spoke. Her goodbye hug stretched longer. One day, her hug lingered past comfort into something vulnerable, like she didn't want to let go. Her body was searching for the warmth she'd been missing. But here's the key, not every touch means desire. Ask yourself, does she do this with everyone or just you? Was it an accident, or part of a pattern? So how do you respond? Stay calm. Hold your frame. Acknowledge her touch with presence. Don't flinch away, but don't overreact. The quickest way to kill a vibe is to assume every brush of contact is an invitation. Test softly. Hold back before returning the touch. If she keeps reaching out, if her hand grazes yours again, if she leans in, that's your sign. Small touches may seem subtle, but when repeated, they're not accidents. And once comfort with touch deepens, the mouth often follows, with deeper truths. That's the fourth sign. Number 4, from small talk to soul talk. Every man's seen this. 1 minute, you're chatting casually. Next, she's telling you about her past, her loneliness, or what she misses about being with someone. This isn't random. It's her way of testing if you can handle her depth. Psychology explains it. People seek closeness by opening private doors. She's signaling trust and showing an unmet need for connection. Laura, a 50-year-old teacher, admitted she'd steer conversations toward her past at reunions. One night, she confessed to a friend, "I can't even remember the last time I felt like myself with someone." That wasn't casual. It was her soul slipping through. Men often mishandle this. Some rush to fix her problems. Others take it as a sexual green light. Both are wrong. What she's really testing is whether you can hold her vulnerability without judgment. The way to handle it? Mirror her feelings in grounded words. A line like, "Sounds like what you miss most is the sense of safety," shows you listen without hijacking her story. Don't rush to escalate. She doesn't need repair. She needs presence. Test gently. After she shares, suggest something calm like a walk or coffee. If she keeps opening up, it's intentional. When her words drift toward loneliness, she isn't filling silence. She's hinting at her desire for closeness. Prove you can be grounded and empathetic, and she'll trust you more. But when emotions open up, another feeling often sneaks in: quiet jealousy. Number 5, quiet jealousy. Not all jealousy explodes. Sometimes it whispers. One of the clearest signs she's interested is her reaction when another woman comes up. It won't be fireworks, it'll be subtle. A silence, a quick subject change, or a playful jab hiding something sharper. It's not about control, it's fear of losing a possible connection. Mike noticed this at work. After weeks of reading signals from his colleague, he casually mentioned a new woman joining the team. Instantly, her smile froze. She joked, "Well, some people get all the luck." But the tension was obvious. Her withdrawal said more than her words. That's quiet jealousy. Not a storm, just a ripple. So how do you handle it? Stay steady. Calm presence reassures her more than any excuses. Don't test her by fueling it, that's childish. And don't launch into long explanations, that only makes you look defensive. Instead, shift the focus back to your values. Say, "What really matters to me is who I can actually trust with my time." If she relaxes, you've seen how invested she is. Quiet jealousy is her way of saying, "I wish I had that spot in your life." The strong move is to recognize it and respond with calmness. And when jealousy appears, women often follow it with another tactic, making alone time. Number 6. Creating alone time. Some of the loudest invitations are silent. A woman interested in you will carve out private space for just the two of you. It's not about the activity, it's the setting. She knows intimacy grows when the noise disappears. Psychologically, privacy lowers defenses. An invite to dinner at her place or a quiet walk isn't random, it's a deliberate shift. Caroline, the single mom, revealed this too. After weeks of meeting at cafes, she invited a man to her home for dinner. No crowd, no noise. Later, they sat on the couch in silence. That silence was louder than words, it carried tension. But here's where men trip up. Some assume it means guaranteed intimacy and rush in. Others freeze. Alone time isn't a contract, it's an opportunity. Handle it by entering with the mindset of connection, not conquest. Value the trust she's giving you. Don't act entitled. Privacy isn't a green light to cross boundaries. Test lightly. Speak the unspoken with a line like, "I like this, it's easier to talk when it's just us." If she leans closer, you'll know her invitation was intentional. Alone time is about possibility. The man who can hold the tension without forcing it shows real strength. And often, once she's made space for you, everything merges, the laughter, the touches, the energy, into constant flirting. That's the 7th sign. Number 7, constant flirting. There's casual flirting, and then there's flirting that never seems to end. It becomes the background of every exchange. It's her way of saying, "I'm here, I'm interested, but will you see it?" Mike the engineer experienced this. His female colleague constantly twisted his words into playful teases. When he said he was tired, she replied, "Or maybe you just need better company at night," laughing, but her eyes saying otherwise. What convinced him was that she didn't treat anyone else this way. That contrast proved it. Constant flirting isn't random, it's a pattern aimed directly at you. The mistake? Men either let it drag endlessly, never acting, or they push too fast. Both ruin it. The better move? Acknowledge the pattern with calmness. A simple, "We always end up in this back and forth, don't we?" shows you notice it while keeping the vibe. Don't let it run on forever, she'll assume you're too passive. Test gently. Transition from teasing to honesty. "If you're comfortable, I'd like to talk about what this is between us." If she leans in, you've confirmed the flirting was her way of paving that path. Constant flirting is her test. It checks your presence, boldness, and respect. Handle it with steadiness, and it becomes the bridge to something deeper. By now you see the path, the body reveals it, the jokes sharpen, the touches linger, the talks deepen, jealousy stirs, invitations appear, and the flirting never ends. But here's the truth, spotting signs is only half the game. Your response defines whether you rise as a man of clarity, or remain a boy lost in confusion. So now you've seen the 7 signs: body language, playful humor, lingering touch, deeper talks, quiet jealousy, private invitations, and constant flirting. But here's the reality check: these aren't guarantees. They're not a checklist. They're glimpses into her inner world. Your job isn't to pounce, it's to understand. That's the line between boys and men. Boys chase. Men observe, interpret, and respond with clarity. 3 rules separate the men who get it from those who don't. Rule 1: patterns, not moments. Stop obsessing over one long hug or one flirty joke. On their own, they're noise. When repeated, they're signal. Attraction is revealed through consistency, not accidents. Rule 2: verify with clarity. You don't need smooth lines. You need honest composure. A simple, "I feel like there's something here. Am I reading this right?" has more weight than hours of guessing. That single sentence builds trust. It shows you can handle the truth. Rule 3: patience is power. When uncertain, slow down. Men lose respect when they force what they can't control. But the man who breathes, pauses, and lets the moment unfold naturally becomes the safest and most attractive option in the room. Boys rush. Men hold the frame. Here's the deeper truth: strength isn't in spotting signs. It's in how you respond after spotting them. An immature man lets impulse set the pace. He sees a hint and lunges. A grounded man lets his values lead. He doesn't exploit her openness. He protects it. He doesn't use vulnerability as an opportunity. He treats it as something worth safeguarding. If you turn her signals into excuses to push faster, you'll destroy the very safety that drew her in. You don't need to be right every time. You just need to refuse to act like a needy boy. That's the line in the sand. A boy gets lost in guessing. A man leads with discipline. A boy reacts. A man responds with purpose. That's the gap you must close, because clarity is rare. It's why women remember the men who provide it and forget the ones who don't. So here's what to do right now. If this video gave you clarity, if it cut through the noise, subscribe to this channel. This is where men stop guessing and start leading. Drop a comment with the phrase, "I value clarity," and add your city. That shows you're serious about building strength, not just consuming content. Share this with one friend still stuck in confusion. Sometimes one wake-up call is all it takes to shift a man's direction. And remember this as we finish: what matters most isn't what's spoken, it's what's felt. If you can read beneath the surface and respond with strength and respect, you won't just earn a woman's attention, you'll reclaim your clarity as a man.